Hey there guys, my name is Sumedh Chatterjee from the Flow Zone Academy, and I'm a flow state coach, which means that I help you feel better and perform better. Today I want to speak about your triggers and how you have to forgive yourself. You see, your triggers are your treasures. They're the spotlight. You need to have a spotlight on your triggers, otherwise you won't know what they are. And the more vague they are, the more ambiguous they are, the more scared you'll get of them, because we fear the unknown. We fear the unknown. If we know something very well, if you know your triggers really well, you can take power over them. Now, oftentimes triggers come from different events that have happened in our life, and it's okay to be able to search there. When you go into the internal world, it's like the Google of the internal world. It's like a search engine, and we've got to get the SEO. I want you to try this little activity with me, okay? Put your arms together like this, like you're praying. Also, namaste. I call it flow mistake, because the flow in me sees the flow in you. Anyway, do this, then gently put your elbows down, and slowly just feel the heat between your palms. Slowly have them facing each other, but slightly away from each other. Then as you feel that heat, move them away from each other, move them away from each other, and keep going in and out so you can feel the heat. Notice where the limit is. So maybe this is the limit. Anymore, and you don't feel the heat anymore. Understand where the limit is, bring it back a little bit more, and then have them face one on top of another and place them in your lap as you go into a meditation. Now start to notice any darkness, any triggers that come up for you. And with each breath, it's like you're adding fresh air to the trigger. Notice where it's localized. Maybe it's your head, maybe it's your neck, maybe it's your lower back, wherever it is. Just notice where it's localized, where it's located in your body. So the mind and the body are linked. Where is your trigger located? And breathe into that darkness, breathe into that location. And every time you exhale, imagine it's like a fog, a dark smog, kind of like the smoke monster from Lost, if you've ever seen that. Just leaving as you exhale. Very well. Alright, so this is a practice you can actually do. Alright? It's also important that you forgive yourself. You forgive others around that trigger or that event. If you're going to blame somebody, let's say you blame your exes, or you blame your parents, or you blame some enemy of yours, or you blame someone who didn't give you some opportunity, or whatever it is, right? Someone was rude to you. If you blame them for the bad, you better also blame them for the good. Because the person you are today is because of them. It's because of them. You wouldn't have seen so much growth if it wasn't for them. If you hadn't transmuted that much pain and made it into the good. See what I'm saying? Forgiveness is not a gift to them. Forgiveness is a gift to yourself ultimately. It sounds selfish to say, but hey, we're here to take care of each other first before we can give. But that doesn't mean you create for yourself. It means you create for others. You see, a lot of artists, they forget that they make art for an audience. This life is boring without other people in it. That's the whole reason I make videos, is for you guys, for other people, so you can get help from it. If I just made videos for myself, it's kind of pointless, right? I'm just watching it back, improving, sure. Then I'm not helping anybody. When you feel like you're actually adding value, a part of you also starts to help yourself. You see, you teach best what you most need to learn as well. So the things that trigger you are the things that teach you. Your triggers can be your best teachers. So if you are in a relationship with someone and they trigger you a lot, they trigger your childhood wounds, they trigger different elements of you, it's actually teaching you. And it's the most difficult form of teaching because it's not nice. Growth is never nice, right? Growth is always uncomfortable. Sometimes we define our identity based on our thoughts, but I can just think of like a dragon right now. It doesn't make it real. It's just a thought. But then again, if we use our imagination in a concrete, accessible way, it's powerful. And it's absolutely okay to acknowledge your flaws. That makes you who you are. It sounds really corny to say, but you're not perfect, but that's what makes you perfect. Right? It sounds like something out of a Hallmark card or some shit, but, you know, this is the best way I can kind of describe it. We can't let those dark, triggered places in each of us define what we are, define who we choose to be. Because yes, I'm not saying you don't have bad parts. I'm not saying you don't have triggered parts of you. Because those parts of you are there, but they're not all of you. Yeah, you might have acted like a really bad person, quote unquote, whatever that means. If in the heart of your hearts you know that you're a good person, you're going to overcome that. Just knowing that's not all of you. It's an element of you. I mean, hey, the fact that you feel guilty about doing something makes you a good person because you have a conscience. You feel sad about something, you feel angry about something, it means that you care. It all comes back to your caring. Because if you didn't care, then you wouldn't react. But since you do feel an internal reaction, it means that you do care. But it's also about taking ownership of those emotions and what you choose to feel. And that forgiveness, giving it for yourself, it's giving for a reason. Forgiveness. Like if you blame your parents for the bad that's happened to your life, you better blame them for all the good too. You get what I'm saying? Keep daring to be the person who you choose to be, who you prefer to be. Not who the world forces you to be or wants you to be. Not who society wants you to be. Because that's not going to bring you ultimate fulfillment and joy. And we try to attain joy, like we do something and then we get joy. But joy is actually our natural state. Right? So it's actually through the removal of all of the conditioning, all of the ego games, and all that stuff that we feel that joy. Well, what a lot of people do is, I'll get that new job, then I'll be happy. I'll do this, then I'll be happy. Don't leave it as a then if, what if that happens possibility. Instead, remove all the things that don't belong there in the first place. Take away all the toxicity there in the first place. You see what I'm saying? You see, a lot of people, and I notice this a lot in my patients, clients, they've gotten so used to being in a low self-esteem and beating themselves up that it can be actually uncomfortable to accept other people's compliments. Because they're saying, oh, you're so pretty, you're so good at what you do. You're going, thank you. But inside you feel like, no, I don't feel that way. And it's uncomfortable. Accepting a compliment where you feel bad about yourself is uncomfortable. It's like, yeah, I know, but I still feel like crap. This is not about comfort, this is about growth. It's about helping you grow. Right? So you may be a bad person in that bad area. That's completely irrelevant to the whole person that you are. Simply just tuning into your own heartbeat can give you a lot of value. Because usually when we tune in and we listen to our own heartbeats, it's like an anxiety. Right? It's a tension. But when you can tune into your own heartbeat and just feel it as a regularity, like this is normal. Gets you much more relaxed and honed in. Try that. Every time you face a trigger, try that. Go back to your heart, listen to your heartbeat again, and breathe into the dark parts of you and give it that fresh air. And you'll notice instantly your state shifting. I'm imperfect, but that's lit. I feel kind of broken. That's part of the adventure. So forgive yourself trust in those triggers that come up for you and expose them to light so that you can understand them better. And once you understand yourself better, with the self-awareness comes the self-esteem boost. Have an amazing day. May the flow be with you and stay legendary. I'll talk to you guys next time. Peace.